You help Sean. Now all of a sudden you got a buyer, you've got a listing, you help Sean get a deal done. It's just little tiny things like that. So asking better questions will help you guys find leads and buyers and whatnot. So I'll go over and then we're going to pass the time off to the men that are going to talk us about their strategies, their door knocking strategies and whatnot. Next week, Thursday, 1 o'clock. The address is in the group me. We're going to launch our St. George group from 1 o'clock to about 3:30. It's going to be amazing. You're going to learn a bunch of marketing strategies, door knocking strategies. Brady, Jeremy, those guys are going to head up that group. And then that afternoon, that evening, we're going to go down to a flip down in Las Vegas, and Paige will be down there in Las Vegas. We've got awesome team members that have joined our group from all over the country, but also in Las Vegas. So next Thursday is going to be off the charts. We're going to launch St. George. We're going to launch our Las Vegas market. And then the following day we have BAM. So all the details and whatnot, I put a little screenshot of a flyer marketing that has all the addresses and everything. These are the events that you guys are going to build massive connections with amazing people. And if you're in Salt Lake, you want to start building referral networks with the St. George area people and the Vegas, because a lot of people here in northern Utah, they might have some that want a second home in Arizona, in Vegas, and St. George. So you build a referral network and you say, hey, Brady, I got this client here where you go show them homes and we pay me a referral. And they'll do the same thing vice versa with you guys. Literally, that's another form. The referral network with Real is massive. So we all need to touch into that. And so one of these days, I really want to dive into so many different ways that y'all should be making money. But before we get to that point, we just got to get out there and start producing. We got to start representing, starting finding buyers, calling, getting these for sale by owners, getting these listings locked and loaded. So anyway, guys, well, I want to kick off. I want to talk about a couple guys that are absolutely crushing it. Their agents are crushing it all over across the country. These guys hustle, and that's really what this group's all about, is connecting with the right people, hustling with the right people. They've been following on social media, Paige and myself, for a couple of years. They've been watching us. When we launched it, said, hey, we're going to Real. Then they reached out to us. We had conversations for about a month back and forth. And for us to have somebody that's a specialist when it comes to knocking doors is the most powerful thing that we can have inside our community, because these guys teach people literally to go out there in an afternoon, knock some doors, make a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 commission, which is unheard of. So I want to pass it off to some members that have done so much for our community in the past 3 to 4 weeks. But I want you guys to give it up, get your notepad ready to rock and roll. The systems, the processes that the legend, Mr. Jeremy and Mr. Dwayne, are going to teach us through this call. We can't wait for it, guys.
The ultimate hype man. Let's go. As Dwayne's hopping on, just want to mention, for those that are coming next week, we have our ad social media guy coming, completely paid for. He'll do free content at the house, all on our dime. So come out and get some free shots, free reels and whatnot. He's going to talk for about 30 minutes on ads and social media. So that'll be super cool. Oh, there's Dwayne. All right, Dwayne, take this.
Hey guys, you ready to blow up your business? You guys ready to literally get out there and crush and make a bunch of money? How many of you guys have gone out in the same day and picked up a commission from somebody you've met that day? Raise your hand. There we go. Bailey, awesome. There we go. Sweet. So we're going to teach you how to do that. We had one of our agents just this last week go out and knock for 3 hours and picked up 3 transactions that day. This is, and the bottom line is, you guys, it doesn't take a lot of rocket science. It's the W-O-R-K word, you know, that 4-letter word, work. It's weird. But if you'll get out and work and do things, but do it with a purpose and do it consistently, that is where you're going to find that you make a lot of money. So you can prospect in any way you want to prospect. For us, my business was built 100% off door knocking. I did not want to deal with SOI. I didn't want to deal with friends and family and have to skirt around commissions or hurting relationships or any of that. If they came to me, I could charge them whatever I want because they're coming to me. Now, how you get people to come to you is by crushing the industry, right? So when I dove into the business, I didn't want to deal with any of that. I went out and strictly door knocked. I sold 10 homes my first month, just door knocking. Okay. Month 2, took it off. Month 3, 14 homes. And as I did that, I started to build a dynasty where people are attracted to that. And not only are they attracted to you, but other agents are going to be calling you saying, Dwayne, how are you doing it? Bailey, how are you doing? Tana, how are you doing it? I want to follow you. There's where you start recruiting your team. That's where you start building. That's where you start growing. And these are the attitudes we should be having. It should be, how in the crap do we go build a dynasty, not just in us bringing in a bunch of money, but us teaching other people how to make a bunch of money. So today, I want to dive into just a bunch of questions you guys have. And more so than anything, I want to get logical with you guys. How many of you guys are cold calling right now? Raise your hands on your screens if you're got it up. I don't know how many I can see. A couple of you. Okay. Cold calling is great. People close all day long cold calling, right? I'm going to ask you this. If your phone rings right now and you don't know the number, are you going to pick it up? Maybe is. He's like, that's business for me. But a bunch of you guys aren't going to pick up the number. Okay. If they pick it up, and as real estate agents, what's the number the number one solicitor call we're getting right now? Health insurance, right? Oh my gosh, I'm calling to sell you health insurance. So as soon as you start getting the freaking pitch about health insurance, the first thing we say is, I'm not interested. Thanks. Click, right? If you're me. The majority of people are getting pounded. If you're for sale by owner, if you're expired, you're a health insurance person in our world. They're going to click the button on you quick because they've already had 20 to 30 calls. So if you go knock on a door and they open the door and you've got a smile on your face and you're there to give them some valuable information, how hard is it to slam the door in someone's face? How many of you guys have slammed the door in someone's face this week? Probably not very many of you, okay? You don't. So when you show up with value to someone's house and you're confident and you're there to give them something that is important to them, they're going to listen, right? And then you can engage them. I would say when I finished knocking doors, and I only had to knock doors for 2 years, you guys, in order to build a business that I was able to close $30 million a year in real estate without prospect. I've been able to do that for the last 5 years, okay? So 2 years of hard knocking. Now, that being said, I got to the point where every 7 doors that I knocked on, I was able to take a listing. Every 7 doors that I talked to. Why? Because people want to move. Because that's the thing. They want to move. They want to transact. But the majority of them, when I knock on a door today, all of our agents we're coaching and training right now, when they knock on a door, they're getting the election. We don't want to move now because of the election. We're not sure what the economy is going to do. The interest rates are high. So, man, it's not a good time to buy. We can't afford to buy. Or just another timing objection. We want to wait for this and this to happen before we do it. Save up some money or till our credit comes back up. In reality, 90% of these people, you can help them buy a house today. You just have to help them and walk them through a process. And when they buy with you today, they list with you and they buy with you. So you're getting 2 transactions from each client. So you've got to know that when you knock on the door, they need you because they don't realize that right now is the very best time to buy real estate. Because if the rates drop further, what's going to happen to the prices? We all know this as agents. They're going to go up. How much more money are they going to save right now by paying a little bit higher interest rate than waiting until rates drop and they end up in a bidding war? A ton. Walk them through that process. Help them understand how much 0.5% of interest rate is going to cost them on a monthly basis and what would happen if they wait. So these are all simple processes that you help people walk through in order for them to transact now. And once they realize it for themselves through exactly what Scott was saying earlier, question-based selling, guiding them through that process, not telling them, say, hey, stupid, if you don't do this now, you're going to lose this much money because of this, this, and this. It's only cost you this much to pay that much higher of an interest rate. You've got to ask them the question. So where do you want to be at in order for you to feel like it's a good time to jump in the market? What rate would you need to be at? They say 4%, sweet. On an $800,000 house or whatever you're looking at, and you'll know that question, how much is the dip between 5.5%, 6%, 4%? What does it cost you per month? How long do you think interest rates are going to take before they'll come down? How much money is that going to be over the next, if they say a year? They said $1,000 a month, even $2,000 a month, guys, which isn't that much. Let's say $2,000 a month. If they say rates are going to drop in the next year, $2,000 times 12 months is $24,000. What happens once rates drop to 4% on that $800,000 house? Are you going to pay more than $24,000? And you don't ask them that question yet. You're going to feed into it, but you'll ask them, what happened back when rates were low? How much were people paying over list price? Okay. What was the average? Were people paying closing costs? No. Were they given concessions from an inspection report? No. Right now, could you get concessions? Can you get a price reduction? So in reality, start throwing those numbers out. How much do you think we could offer today where homes are sitting on the market for a little bit longer? How much money could we get off purchase price? What would you guess? And then start helping them add up all these numbers as you go through the process, even if it's $20,000 to $30,000. Okay, let's just say it's $25,000 on an $800,000 house. Can you get closing costs? Well, you might be able to get $5,000, $10,000. Let's just say $5,000. So now we're up $25,000. Can you get concessions? Well, let's say we get $5,000 in concessions once we're all the way through. So now we're up to $30,000. What happens if rates switch? And now you pay $50,000 over and you lose the $30,000 you were going to gain. It's an $80,000 swing. Do you understand that? And if you do, what's keeping you from buying now? Guys, it's not that hard. But how do we get in front of the people to do that conversation? Go knock on their freaking doors. Get in front of them. Guys, people are home all day long. There's moms with kids at home. There's stay-at-home dads. There's people working in their office because of COVID. Now everybody thinks they office from home. Half of us office from home, right? Why are we not getting in front of the people starting at 8 a.m.? Why are we not knocking and getting in front of people all day long? Because once we do that, once you get good at your trade, and learning how to ask all the right questions, this job is simple. Guys, this is the easiest job on the planet. We make more money than anybody out there. It's crazy. It's just that 4-letter word, that work word kills real estate agents because most of them feel like they're at work as long as they show up at the office and they jump on social media and start posting a little bit, right? Like, I got this. I won the day, man. I can go home. Make sure you're putting in enough time. And social media is a fabulous way to get business. But from my experience, I'm not as talented as Paige, nor Scott, nor Jeremy. For Pete's sakes, I don't even know how to use Instagram. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm still the old dude that uses Facebook, and Jeremy teases me all the time. But the point is, I get a ton of business off of Facebook simply by posting my success. By, hey, I helped this family buy a house. I helped this family buy a house. And people know that I do a ton of real estate, and then people reach out to me. You can also put stuff out there once you're successful with real estate to the point where you do fishing. Hey, I've got a triplex. It's $405,000. Rents are $5,250 a month. Who would be interested in a deal like this? Guess what? I get 20 to 30 comments saying, hit me up, which then tells me who's looking to buy a real estate. So let's open this up for a couple questions. I know we have a short time. I'm usually going for over an hour on our trainings, so I've got to not be long-winded on this. But what questions do you guys have? Let's field some of those. And then Scott, when I'm at the point where you need to cut me off, we'll do that. But I can also dive into just training, because that's what Jeremy and I do is we coach, train, and help agents all over the U.S. to get to a high level. And I expect every person to be able to put someone under contract every week. Guys, that is the easy expectation in the world. Everybody should be able to put somebody under contract every week. But hit me up with whatever questions you have. Raise your hand.
I think before questions, because we want more, This is amazing. Dwayne, we want more. I'd love for you and Jeremy to kind of go back and forth and have a dialogue of what's working, what's not working, what agents are doing to have success. I'm putting you on the spot, Jeremy, because we want more of you as well. But I'd love for the two of you to have like a dialogue with each other back and forth. And then we can really understand, and that might trigger some questions that we have. So why don't you guys take 5-10 minutes, and you guys just have a dialogue back and forth, what you've seen, what your agents have been doing, all how they get a hold of you, how they could, connect with you guys, with your resources, everything that you guys are going on. I'd love that more than anything, selfishly.
Jeremy, dive into some of the one-on-ones. Jeremy does a lot of the one-on-ones on our coaching program. We've got 35, 36, 40, somewhere right in there coaching clients. What do you see on the one-on-ones? Do you feel like is something that you help encourage that cause them to do more production?
Yeah, I think one thing, like I think of John, right? John out in California, he's been in our program for about a month. And he just had so many questions, just asking. He would text us and call me and say, hey, what do I do here? What do I do here? He would message the group. We've got a full group in the coaching program where realtors all over Canada, the US are asking questions. And he was so curious about how to make it work. He just really wanted to make it work. And then sure enough, he just picked up a 2-for-1, 1.5 million, like combined with the buy and the sell side, he'll make $50,000 in just those two transactions. And so like that curious mind, usually those that come to the coaching calls that don't report numbers, that don't have anything that didn't work, they're not asking, they don't have the right questions because they're not actually working. Those are the ones that don't do well. Don't you think? Like I just had someone, I'm supposed to have a coaching call here in 8 minutes. He reported zeros all the way through all of his numbers. I told him, I said, hey, I think it's best if we just cancel this call. You need to go work. Like we can't have a productive call until you work. And all those agents that are actually working, like you and I talked about this morning, Dwayne, are killing it, right? Like Jeffrey and Saad and William and John.
Well, it's funny to think the analysis paralysis will kill anybody. Don't procrastinate. Don't sit and worry until you have it down. I remember the first couple doors I knocked on, you guys, to be honest with you, I laughed myself off the door. I was like, oh my gosh, that was the most pathetic thing I've ever said. I had no response to the objections. And record yourself. Saad, let's throw that example with him. Jeremy, when he first started we do role plays twice a day, 5 days a week, you guys, because it's that important for you to get confident in what you say and how you say it. Tell us about Saad, Jeremy, when he first started.
Hold on. Is he on here? Okay, I don't think he is. So when Saad first joined, we couldn't understand him at all. And we had to work really, really hard on his communication skills, on just pronouncing words. We had him practice in front of the mirror. We had him write out his scripts. He would do like the mouth exercises that Tony Robbins does before he gives like these big events. And he would then come role play twice a day. And he just would keep getting the feedback, and the feedback was brutal sometimes. But he would take it, and then he'd come back. And then he was working. And so he just had this like desire to figure it out. And then last month he had 12 under contract. And then right now he just closed 3 last week. And he has, I think, 4 listings. And so he blew up. But he took that feedback and he kept showing up, and he had this relentless desire to make it work, and it worked.
Hey guys, I've had a lot of your guys from your crew reaching out to me, the curious minds. I think it was John that reached out to me. He's like, hey, I really like that listing video that you did with Paige and with Rich. He's like, how do you do it? And I said, well, we're going to be in Vegas next week. Why don't you come out? Because that's what Paige is really good. I've learned a lot from her. There's about 20 different facets anytime you're doing a job. Number one is you got to work, like you guys are saying. But the second part is just being around people. Literally in 2 hours, you can get so many resources literally in 1 to 2 hours. That's why I love events, because you make so many networking connections. But the curious minds, and I said, look, I'm not going to tell you, let me show you. And that's the same thing with door knocking. You guys don't just say, hey, go knock doors. You guys do role plays. And it's like, hey, if you're in St. George, that's what I love about you, Jeremy. You're out knocking doors with guys. So learn how to shadow other people that are really good at it. Anyone that they want to learn how to do certain things, they're more than welcome to come. Hey, when are you going looking at your flips? When are you knocking doors? When are you cold calling? Like anytime, I feel like this group, we're so open to letting you shadow us. You just have to reach out to us and ask us and have that curious mind, because we want you to win. As you win, we all win, guys. That's the whole purpose. We need you to produce and make money. If you produce and sell and make 10,000 commission and I make a $200 residual, cool. That's great. But if I get 1,000 of those, then it gets to be massive, right? So we're playing the long haul of what we're doing here.
Well, and I think the key factor to that is rip off and reuse. Just like Scott said, go to YouTube. I've had so many people close deals off what I put on YouTube. Why do I put it on there? Because I want everybody to win, right? Same with Scott. I think he's probably one of the most humble dudes that I've met. He's so willing to share and give of his time. Jeremy's the same way. We will teach you every detail of what we've been able to do to make $1 million every year and even past that. So if you want to learn this stuff, put forth the effort to just simply ask and then go out and do what we teach you to do. And I tell our agents all the time, you will print money. There is no reason why you can't be successful. I don't care if you're the worst salesperson in the world. If you will just follow our systems, my script, I'm going to give it to you, right? Hey, my name is Dwayne. I work with Real. Did your neighbors tell you it's going to stop by and see you? That's simple, okay? They're always going to say no for the most part. Have you ever thought about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? There's a script, guys. I bet every one of you guys can repeat that right now and do that. That's all you have to do, knocking on doors, and then follow up with questions and guide them through a process. If they say they've thought about it, cool. What's your timeline? Is this your forever home? You know, and if they say no on the forever home, what's your timeline? How long do you think it'll be? Take their timeline. Why 5 years? Why 2 years? If you could save a bunch of money by doing it sooner, would you consider it? Guys, these are not hard questions. Most people would say, yeah, if I can make a bunch of money by doing it sooner, I would. How would you say to do that? And at that point, they're telling you they want you to teach them how they can save a bunch of money. Guys, they're begging you for information. You just got to do it. You got to do it.
I think that's worked really well. We have one guy that's out in Atlanta. If I ever left Utah, I'd go to Atlanta. That's like, I just love that place. And we sold there for alarms for a couple of years. Anyways, he wasn't having a lot of success. He had like 8 listings. So in theory he was, but they weren't selling. And so we hopped on the phone and I said, hey, let's talk about where your listings are and how you're getting them. Okay, cool. They're not selling. Let's go look where houses are selling, because that's where buyers want to be. And so all we did is we took him over here. We put him in these types of neighborhoods where listings were selling quick. He went in there, and what did he get? 4 listings in 2 weeks?
You did, yep.
4 listings, and double-ended 3 of those, like super quick. And so a lot of door knocking also is putting yourself in the right neighborhood. Just go in the right neighborhood, right? You could be chopping. I think it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about Stephen Covey. You could be chopping down trees in a forest for hours and hours and hours. You climb up a tree to see how much progress you made, and you realize you're in the wrong forest. So you wasted all that time. So door knocking, that's how it is, right? Go around the neighborhoods that are transient, that are moving. In Utah, it's like the dream. We have so many townhome communities where you could just go and sit in there and be in the right community. A lot of people are going to sell because it's very transient. They're only 2 to 4 years. And so you can go in there and give you the highest likelihood to sell a lot of people. Or like this super cool group, like I love being in this group, go find someone else's listing and knock around there for a buyer. Like we have one guy that's in our group. I don't know if he's on here, Kirk. He's got a listing in Cedar. And so this week or next week, we're going to try to take the entire St. George group up there and go knock around that listing, because it's such an easy way to grab a buyer and double in that one. Help this guy sell his listing. We get the buyer. We all win. So like having that type of strategy will help you a ton. If you're going to go knock like multi-million-dollar communities where they're not selling a lot and they're not transacting a lot, well, then you're probably not going to have a lot of success. You might get 1 or 2 and it helps you break into that price point, and that's awesome. But at the same time, go put yourself where you can get in Utah, get a $500,000 townhome and get an $800,000 buy, and that's almost $1.5 million. You made 50K.
Yeah.
So that strategy helps a ton.
Yeah, Jeremy. So we got Gabriel on here. He just joined our team recently. Gabriel, what's up, man? And Gabriel called me up last night. He's like, I got these buyers. They're moving out of state. They want to sell the house by themselves. And I said, that's great. And I said, well, all you need to do is set up the appointment. I'll come help you get the listing. I've got a listing around the corner of a townhome. Let's walk them through. Let's show them the data. Let's show them how much of a nightmare it is to try to sell your house on your own in a different state, to the point of where literally it's not, let's just go pitch them. Let's literally walk them through another house so that they can see the entire process. So we've got an appointment tonight, and it's like, we're all willing to help you guys. Like, if you're new, the biggest thing you can do, like, if you want to make $1 million, go help 10 people make 100,000 plus a year. That's it. Right? You want to crush it, go help people and bring people along the way. It's the same thing with the listings. We all actually want to do it. And lastly, if you're new at real estate, we've all paid the price, guys. I've had to go knock the doors for years. And Dwayne, you did it. You've proven yourself. A big mistake a lot of us make is all of a sudden we try to be like a Maley or a Dwayne or a Jeremy, and we haven't actually earned it yet. If you're not doing it yourself and having success, nobody's going to follow you. So you have to learn it, you have to earn it, and then you have to teach it, right? So if you're brand new at this, we don't want to show homes. A lot of us do not want to show homes. But if you show up and add value, hey, I got a buyer, let everyone know where you're located, we'll send you leads. But we have to trust that you're going to be able to answer your phone. You're going to open up the doors. You're going to show up on time, and you're going to do what we've done to put ourselves in a position to go out there and help others do this exact same thing. So there's a process, and you can't skip a step in the process. If you say, hey, I don't want to knock doors, but I want to go teach people how to do it, it's not going to happen, right? Hey, I want to go list a ton of homes, but you don't know how to represent buyers. How can you be a good listing agent if you don't know how to, if you haven't done a lot of transactions? So your first step is to go out and get a whole bunch of buyers. Buyers turn into sellers, right? And so it's just a very simple process, like what you guys are talking about. Hey, I'm Scott with Real. Are you looking to buy or sell or invest in your home? It's going to be one of the three. Well, yeah. Hey, if I find you a really good deal, do you want me to tell you about it? That's my line right there, Dwayne. Hey, have you ever thought about invest? If I find you a good off-market deal, do you want me to tell you about it? Of course I do. Cool. What's your phone number? Boom. All of a sudden you have a client. It's so simple. We make it so hard. So I love what you guys are doing. Let's open it up for the room for some questions as far as people, because we want everyone in here making six figures. That's one transaction a month, guys. It's more like one every other month with how expensive real estate is right now. It's more like one of Paige's listings every 6 months, right? What are y'all's questions? Eduardo's closing on a deal. Eduardo's out there hustling, knocking doors. What questions do you guys have for the experts that are helping guys get 3 listings in was it 1 day or 1 week?
It was 3 hours of knocking.
Oh, 3 listings?
Yeah.
Hey, Scott,
I had a
jump in for a
question.
sec?
Yeah, go for it, Eduardo.
Hey, I just wanted to answer a question for it was Gabriel, I think was your name. So I had a listing that was actually a for sale by owner. They wanted to do kind of something similar. They were like, I know you're an agent. I know it's easy enough. You guys open the door, you let people through, you get the contract, and then it's done. It's not that hard. We'll take care of it. So I actually gave them some help. I was like, here's my photographer. This is my process of how I list a home. These are the Facebook ads. This is how I door knock. And then when the contracts come in, I kind of broke down what a contract would look like as a buyer. They still decide not to use me at first. They got their first contract. They got into it. They got so overwhelmed with the complication of the contract and everything else. They kept calling me, asking questions. I never once tried to force it myself on them and let them know that I wanted to list it for them. I just walked them through as best as I could. And I just told them, I don't want to take on liability, so I can't help you with the contract, but this is what I would recommend who you talk to. I'd recommend talk to an attorney, this and that. Eventually, they got overwhelmed. They canceled the contract. It wasn't even a real contract. I listed it, got it sold 15 days later, and they were ecstatic over it. So if you ever have anybody that's for sale by owner, that's a really easy way to just don't be salesy, don't push yourself, just educate, and you'll notice they'll come back to you.
Love it. There's a couple questions in here. It looks like Kayla's got her hand up. Kayla, what's going on? Kayla's got the best social media ever. Sorry, Paige. Sorry, anyone else, but hers is the funniest. I think it's yours, Kayla. What question do you have? Okay, she unraised her hand.
Sorry, I couldn't get my speaker off. I was on mute because I'm in the car. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. My question is, what are you saying when you're door knocking? That's my question for the experts. Like, what are they saying when they're door knocking and like the conversations they're having with the sellers?
So my script, I'll give it to you again. I mean, it's pretty easy. It's just, hey, my name's Dwayne. I work for Real. Did your neighbor say it's going to stop by and see you? That's a focus redirect to get them thinking different than, hey, I need to get rid of this person at my door. From there, just ask, have you ever thought about buying, selling, or investing in real estate?
Hey, Kayla, what city are you in?
I'm in Farmington.
So, Kayla, Dwayne and Jeremy, do you guys have any door knockers in Davis County?
I think we do. Yeah, we do.
Or what about Salt Lake?
Yeah. We've got Austin, Justin. Those guys are crushing it. I don't know if they're on this call, but yeah, they're
Would they be open to letting Kayla go out for an afternoon and just shield for a few hours?
Yeah.
Another thing I tell you to do, Kayla, is one of the things I tell you to do is record yourself.
I would
Take
love
your
that.
audio recorder, record it, and then call me, and I'll go over the audio with you and tell you where to tweak your pitch that will help you. And the cool thing about recording it, I'm a big fan of doing it that way, because when I go knock doors with somebody, I can't stop mid-conversation and say, whoa. Do you see what you just asked? Then by asking that, this is going to happen. It's going to trigger this reaction. Whereas with a recording, I can pause the recording and say, you just asked this question. Do you know how they're going to respond? And if you know the answers before you ask the question, you're going to win every time. There's never an attorney in a court case that's going to ask a question he doesn't know how the other person's going to respond. It screws you every time. So that being said, if you can record yourself and then hit me or Jeremy up, we can go through the recording and help tweak your pitch to where you get your questions down to where you win every time.
Will you put the link in the comment? I know you guys offered something for our group. And then you guys also have mentorship coaching too, where you're helping these guys that are crushing it. Do you guys mind putting the link in the comments so people can reach out to you? Because I think, and this is stuff you're not going to get in 15, 20 minutes. A lot of it's repetition. And it's like, that's the intro. And then it's, you're wanting people to give you a no. It's people like, oh no, everything's great. Those are the worst. You want people to give you a hard no, so you know that they're actually serious. And so it's actually reading the room, and when they answer the door, you guys know, and you guys know, watching these door knockers, they asked a bad question. A bad question is going to get a bad answer, and you're going to lose that momentum and lose that energy. So yeah, put that there so guys can reach out to you. Who else has a question? Go ahead.
I just added it in there. So also too, Kayla, your Instagram is pretty good. I just stalked you a little bit and followed you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I also, on our YouTube channels, like, we're pretty upfront and transparent, and we want you to go and, like, for 20 minutes, get a quick digest of a certain topic and go apply it. So all the script videos are on there, so you can go take a look at that.
But guys, it's going to take a lot of time. I mean, I do a lot of role playing. I even do stuff where I'll have a dude sell me pantyhose to a guy and make him think way outside the box and learn how to ask good questions to gather feelers. Or to have a guy sell a Mini Cooper to a dude on a ranch with a dually truck. I'll have him sell a pencil to an account, or a pen to an accountant. I'll have them sell stuff just out of the random to get them used to thinking on their feet and asking good questions. It takes a good year, honestly, of role playing to get it down to where you can handle question-based selling like the back of your hand. And if you're not good at it, you guys, invest. Get into some coaching that'll help you.
Yeah, so it's like with you, like the skilled guys, like Dwayne was getting a listing 1 out of 7, 1 out of 10 doors. Like you might, when you start out, it might take you 1 out of 50 doors. So it's just getting to those 50 doors. It's a numbers game. The more no's you get, the better, right? And guess what? The more houses you get through as well, the more recognition in the area you'll get them on the backside. But the better you get at it, you might only have to knock a cul-de-sac and you get 2 or 3 listings, then you're off to the races. You do it in 2 or 3 hours. So that's the difference between amateurs and pros. Amateurs, just by knocking doors, are going to make money. Pros can be very, very efficient with their time. I talk about this a lot in my book too, is like, what's an hour of your time worth to you? And figure that out. Is it $20 an hour? What does your income say? And as you figure out what an hour of time is, you'll stop wasting time. You'll start doing things that you love or that are making you money or with family. So figure that out. That'll help you out as well.
And ladies do awesome at door knocking, by the way. Women have immediate trust door to door versus men. It's a lot harder. So, but on average, when you get started, it's probably going to be 1 in 300 doors before you pick up any kind of lead or listing or buy on it. So count on those numbers as you get going and then roll from there.
Also, for all the ladies on here, go on Instagram and follow Female Knockers United. She's a good friend of mine. She's probably the best pound for pound female door knocker in the nation, and her page is incredible from a woman's perspective on how to knock doors. Go follow her and Melissa Ramirez.
Did you just say best pound for pound door knocker? Did I hear that? Yep. That's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, you've never heard, what is that? You never heard that before?
I'm going to start saying, hey, dude, I'm the best for a 241 pounder. I'm the best salesman on the planet, right?
There you go. I can give you a run for your money, though.
All right. Well, we'll see, dude. I want to get into, let's you, me and Dwayne, let's go out there and let's see. I'll show you guys who's boss here, right? New sheriff in town.
I am a little offended. Obviously, you don't know who I am and how many years I was the queen bee for door knocking for Vivid, but it's okay. I'll let this whole thing slide.
That's awesome.
Mainly, we haven't seen you on the doors. That's why.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I want to see you three going at it. That'll be fun. I bet Maylee will probably crush you guys.
Yeah, I did for a long time.
Hey, and you know what? A big part of that is like, even if people are better, a lot of it's up here in your mind. You got to think that you're the best. You got to like in your mind be like, I am the absolute best. Like my son last night, I know he's going to crush me in a race, but I was like, I'm going to smoke you. I'm going to smoke you. I'm going to smoke. He still smoked me. But at the point of it is, the more you have that mindset up here, I'm going to win, I'm going to get this door, I'm going to get this listing, you're going to get it. If you walk to that door, I'm probably not going to get this, you're not going to get it. So whatever you think about is what you're ultimately going to get. Gabriel had a question. Gabriel, go ahead, man.
Before me, Michelle. I think Michelle, she was in the line.
Oh, what a gentleman. Michelle,
yeah, thank you.
We're going to take your question and then yours, Gabe, and then we're going to wrap this up in the next 3 minutes. All right, guys?
So I know in the group me, Dwayne and Jeremy, you guys had posted doing the role play, and you said it was only for our group, but I didn't know what group that was. Are we included in that group? And it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Jeremy, you want to fill that?
Yeah, so I put the link in the chat. It's $200 a month. It's Monday through Friday, twice a day. We have 2 of like the best door knockers run that. Monday, Wednesday is door pitch. Tuesday, Thursday is objections, and Friday's listing presentation. You've got realtors all over Canada, all over the US that are closing at a high volume that you can listen to, take notes, and then you can role play and get feedback from them. In my opinion, best value add, pound for pound for value add in the entire nation in the real estate industry. Like, it's wild how much you'll get from that group. So the link's in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Love it. Great question. Hey, one thing, guys, we all have different groups. We all have communities and whatnot, which is awesome. Like the thing having Dwayne and Jeremy coming over is they genuinely are helping these agents win and make money. There are 10,000 agents in Utah alone, and I'd say 9,000 of them aren't making any money or very little money. It's usually 10% that make most of the money. There are over 1 million agents in the US alone. You don't think other agents could reach out and work with Dwayne and Jeremy for 6 months, a year, and start actually making money? So us not sharing amazing people like Dwayne and Jeremy, we're being selfish. Real talk. Like if your friends are struggling, so question based, hey, how's real estate going for you? How many transactions did you do last year? Oh man, I only did 4. Cool. These guys are helping people on average do 12 to 20. Do you want me to make an introduction? Not a referral, an introduction to this person. Oh man, I would love that. Guess what? Now they join their team. Their family's making way more money. They join your team at through the real what we're doing. You make some money just by making an introduction. It's not hard, guys. And if you truly believe in what you're doing, you'll share what you have with other people. So I highly recommend that y'all connect people with Dwayne, with Jeremy, because these guys are genuinely helping agents make money and make a ton of money. So it's like It's the name of the game, guys. If you believe in something, share it with other people.
Well, what a great way to recruit too, you guys. Honestly, reach out to everybody and say, hey, come build your business. And you've got Paige and Scott as well that are masters at their trade. So in this group, you have a huge plethora of people that can train, coach, and teach and launch people in their business. So reach out to everybody you know and bring them in.
Okay, Gabriel, take it away, and then we'll finish up, and then we'll get off to knocking some doors and making some money today. I want to see transactions, guys. I want to today in the group me. I want to see who's going to be the star that's going to go out and lock up that listing today or get a buyer signed today. I want to see who's the rock star. I got a little special something for whoever gets the first one, so put it in the post.
Cool. So guys, I'll be quick. I had a hard time with angry, unsoliciting people knocking doors. So that's kind of what I kind of struggle, like when how to overcome that the moment that they come to you angry and point to the no soliciting sign and they just yell and say go away. So what you guys would approach that situation, like how the best way?
Bailey, you'll probably laugh at this one, but this is my favorite one, Gabriel. I literally used this the other day. If they have a no soliciting sign and a welcome mat and they come out super mad, you just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're sending me mixed signals. Anyways, the reason why I'm here, blah, 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 blah. That's my favorite one. It even makes me laugh. So anyway, just a pattern interrupt. It gets them to like laugh. And then you say, anyways, the reason why I'm here, real estate market's crazy. You thought about buying, selling, or investing. That anyways, why I'm here, it brings it back. So that's my favorite one.
I had one 20 years ago when I was knocking doors in Colorado. Someone had a no soliciting sign. And I said to them, I said, do you know why people put up no soliciting signs? And they're like, why? I was like, because they don't know how to say no.
They buy everything.
I'm selling something. And they did not like that one. But really, Gabe, here's the other thing too. 90% of it is up here in your mindset. What you're doing, that confidence level. If you're confident with people, they'll be like, oh, okay, no worries. They don't do it. But when they feel a little awkward. So after we go talk to those people tonight, let's you and I go knock some doors in that community. And we'll actually do it together. How does that sound, boss?
Yep, let's do it.
Another really easy one too is just to say, yeah, sorry, I actually can't read. That's why I knock doors for a living. Anyways, the reason why I'm here, that one works really. You got to have a lot of confidence with that one though. Or you can say, yeah, that's actually why I'm here. My flyer guy probably didn't knock your door because he was scared to talk to you. That's why I'm here. Usually I don't do this. Anyways, the reason why I'm here. So just like little things that you can have, but again, it's that confidence.
Have fun. Yeah.
I brought this magazine. It's old one, but it's about market reveal, like a real estate market reveal. So what I usually say is just like, no, I'm just here just, to give you this information about the real estate in your neighborhood. And then they, oh, okay. So let's talk.
Yeah,
so
there's some strategy to that though too. Sometimes when you give them something, that's their permission to get off the doorstep. So you got to be careful with that. So maybe have a no soliciting sign in your pocket when they point to, oh, I'm just here helping the neighbors upgrade their no soliciting signs. And I'm here for this other reason. Dude, just have some fun with it. Really, if you really believe in real estate and you're helping people out and just shift that mindset, it'll be a lot easier for you. So
well, a lot of people didn't even put that sign up. It was from a previous homeowner or something else. And so honestly, just be confident.
Yeah, love it. Okay, guys. Well, this has been amazing. Was this awesome? Guys, give a little, raise the roof if this was like fire. Come on, let's see it. Raise the roof. Let's go. Hurry, someone screenshot that, then post it on social media and tag Jeremy, Dwayne, Maylee, the Red Suit. Tag us all. Let's go. Okay. Hey, listen, we'll see you next Tuesday, but next Thursday, guys, you're going to get this live in St. George, man. You're going to get the real deal. Jeremy, take us out, knocking some doors. Where we're doing it's at a community where we probably knock some doors, have some fun, and then we'll do it in Vegas. Let's go make some money together. So I appreciate you guys. You guys absolutely crush it. Make sure you connect with Dwayne and Jeremy and the whole crew. And I appreciate every single one of you. And let's go out and win today. Thank you, guys.
Hey, before everybody leaves, though, so there's a lot of confusion in the group chat for our fall festival, and we've got to get that handled. So if y'all can stick around, if anybody wants to participate in the corn belly, so Paige and Ariana, we're trying to figure this whole thing out. So if you want to come play and actually have a reason to follow up with your SOI, because a lot of us need that extra reason, not just, hey, I want to help you sell a house, right? Then I definitely need to, reach out to me either in the group me or just put it in the chat right now. Like, yes, I would like X amount of tickets. Luckily, actually, Ariana, are you here?
I sure am.
Yay. Okay, there you are, babe. So talk to us a little bit about what you discovered, because there was a lot of questions around like, do you have to buy a certain amount of tickets? But you don't, right? So you just have to keep track of the wristbands. So talk us through a little bit more about what you discovered and then what date you're trying to book this for.
So I kind of didn't hear anything. So I had originally done like a tester booking and I booked it for the 7th. I just changed that to the 28th from 4 to 6. So, cause I just didn't know and I wanted to get it booked.
October,
so,
right?
That's already booked. Everything's good there. The group name is under the New Wave Real Estate Group now. And so everything's good there. So what happens, basically the check-in procedure is that you arrive 15 minutes early and you check in at the booth, and then they'll provide you with like a check-in table, Corn Bellies will. And then they said to bring like your own signage and banner to identify like who you are, along with the tablecloth, blah, blah, blah. And then we're also welcome to bring a pop-up tent, or you can buy a party tent as well. I would recommend doing a party tent just because then you guys there's like additional things that you can add with that. Like you can do like pre-order donuts, like cider, hot cocoa and stuff, and can be delivered to the party tent. And the party tent is an additional cost, but it's $59. I think it's $59.99 or something like that. So if we wanted a party tent or more than one party tent, we'd have to get that booked as soon as possible, because they do, there are reservations to it and they could potentially not have an availability for that. So right now it's booked the 28th of October. I put 300 plus guests. They just want to know like how many wristbands to give you. So the procedure with that is that you just tell your guests in advance to look for the table, and then they go to the table and they'll get a wristband, and then as many wristbands are like handed out that night, you just give back the rest. So like, let's say you told Corn Bellies, give me 300 wristbands. So you'll get 300 wristbands. And if you have 299 wristbands that was handed out and only one wristband left, then that one wristband you would give back, and they would only have you pay for however many wristbands were given out, which is nice. But
well, how do we keep track of each individual? Because that's the only concern.
That's the question that I was going to ask you guys, because I know that you guys are trying to do this as a group where the payment at the end is going to be, they hold your card, and the payment will be the pay for however many wristbands is charged to that card. And so if you don't know whose SOI went from where, that is kind of the big question on like how you would manage who pays for what and how many. So that's kind of a question that we would probably have to consider asking Corn Bellies. And that's what I was trying to get Paige to figure out, like, hey, like what exactly, I mean, we can book this event, but it's because it's not a private event, because they didn't have, that availability. There's no real way of tracking it unless, maybe they had like a sign in or.
Well, what if we did something like a scenario where, let's just give an example. Tana reaches out to all of her SOI tomorrow, right? Between tomorrow and all day Saturday, she reaches out to her SOI. And then she says, okay, here's the cutoff point for her, right? She mentally knows her cutoff point is the 25th, right? And then the 25th, she says, I'm going to buy X amount of tickets. So then now she's reserved X amount, and that's all she's going to be charged for. And then she can Venmo me or Paige or whatever, right?
Honestly, I think that's a good idea. There's also an option that you can pick up tickets in advance and hand them out prior to the visit. So I wonder if we can say, like, how many tickets does this agent want? How many tickets does this agent want? And kind of get, Corn Bellies to pre-hand those tickets out to us. So then you can say, you could either hand it to the agent and say, hey, let's meet up and you get these tickets. Or, the agent, you just have that stack, at the desk. And that stack is just for this agent. That, you know what I'm saying? That's what's hard too, that if someone, comes last minute and there's only a certain amount of tickets. So it's one of those things that, yeah, I definitely feel like everyone should figure out what they want to do with that. And if they want to participate, because yeah, having one agent or one person pay the full in bulk, especially because it could be more than 300 people. That's the real question mark.
Well, so yeah, if it is more than 300 people, like it's fine as long as we're letting them know, right? Like, is there a date? I guess that's probably the biggest question is there like a specific date that they have for us that's like, hey, you can let us know how many actual people by this date? Is there
No, so because it's open to the public, because we didn't get a private show, like, it's open to the public, so really as many people can come as
they want.
Yeah. I mean, so it's kind of one of those things that you can have 1,000 people show up at Corn Bellies. Nobody's gonna have a real fun time because it'd be super packed. But I mean, it's also we have a date specific to, where we're going to be there. We're going to be handing out tickets from 4 to 6. If you don't come between that 4 to 6 time frame, you don't get a ticket.
Yeah. And then remind us I know there's a couple questions, but remind us because of the discount of 100 or more, plus we have the discount of being a weekday, correct? Because is that a weekday? Let me just look at what day that is. So it's the Monday, so that's perfect. What is the price that we, as the agent, until we get sponsors or whatever, but or if we get sponsors, but if we don't get sponsors, what is the dollar amount that we're responsible for per ticket?
So it's $12.99 plus tax for guests ages 3 and up. So
we'll call it $13.
Yeah. And then you can also buy additional like punch cards or gift cards or food options. But to be honest, that's just an additional cost on top of that. There's like a whole bunch of different selections of options with that. And that could get really pricey. It could be fun to offer that, but at the same time.
Well, but we're going to do donuts and drinks anyway and hot chocolate.
Yeah. I mean, they can, so it's really just like a voucher for the food there at Corn Bellies. And honestly, I just really wouldn't. I feel like I would probably go more for like a party tent and then offer donuts and something rather than like having to pay punch cards. Like,
guys, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I think we should do this. Let's start a separate group me because all of our event stuff gets lost in there. I'm going to start a separate group me right now, and then I'll just post the link in our New Wave group. So that way everyone that's interested can hop on that one. I'll just call it like, we can have an events group me. And then so for each quarter we can just talk about our events in there, because otherwise it'll get lost with everybody else that's like in the other one going through everything. So I'll start a group me right now. I'll post the link in there and then we can talk through details on that thread. I think that'll be good.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting us get that handled. And then Michelle, did you have something real quick?
Oh, well, she was just saying this. I was just going to say, for an example, I want 20. Jen wants 20. Tana wants 20. So everybody said, I'm taking 20 tickets. She said, if we don't use those all, we can turn those back in and just pay for the ones that were used. So say by the 25th, the cutoff time is the 25th. How many tickets is each person going to get? Okay, so I wanted 20. So let's just say each one of us wanted 20. We hand them out. But at the end, when we go to between the 4 and 6 o'clock, we can turn those other ones in and say, I didn't end up using these, but I'm only paying for my 15 now that I used. The other 5 we didn't. So that's giving all of us to get out to whoever we're going to that time frame, the 25th, and then turn in those tickets, and then we're done. Then we know exactly how many per person. So I can get with my clients or whoever I'm going to. I need to know for sure so I can get this ticket if you're going to make it or not, so I can make sure those tickets are reserved for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that'll work. And the biggest thing will just be like how to Venmo, or so we'll figure that out with the group me. But I appreciate that. That's perfect example. That'll work really well.
Hey, Maylee.
Yeah.
Well, they obviously have to check in, right? When
Yeah.
they check in, can they write down like who invited them? I mean, that's another way to track
Yeah.
it, or
I mean, the problem is because of all of our events that we throw right every Thursday night. I mean, it's the same thing that happens when people go, Facebook, who invited you? Email, who invited you? Right? Like it becomes such a like loose cannon. And
yeah.
unfortunately, it'll be Paige or myself that'll be and flipped with the bill. So, you know, it's unfortunately that's a little. I do like a little bit better idea with like Michelle, where it's like, here, like,
Yeah.
here's your 20, here's your 20.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, if you don't hand out all your 20, just bring them back. And
Mhm.
that's
Yeah, that's a
probably
great
the
idea.
best structure. Because I love the idea. I just wish that actually worked the best way. But as much as I'd love to say that it doesn't work very good.
Mhm.
I have a
Totally.
question, or I have something to say. I talked to a claim home warranty, and they have up to $250 that they can sponsor. So she said she'd love to do like the donuts and hot chocolate or something like that, just to let you know that they are interested. And then Paige had
I'll pay
mentioned,
for the tent.
oh, I mean, it's $59, $60 for a party tent. I think we should do the tent.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that.
It's just a nice way for people to say, hey, we've got a tent right inside the door. Stop by to get some pictures, get some donuts, hot chocolate. You know, that's just an easy.
Yeah. And then we need to set up like another call, so everyone feel free to like drop off if this isn't important to you or you don't have time. Like, don't feel like you need to stay on this.
Really
It
quick, I
is
got an
important.
answer from Corn Bellies just barely about the party tents. They said that they rent in 3-hour time blocks. So on Mondays they rent from 4 to 7. So between, you know, our blocked time of 4 to 6, then it should be, we could have it from 4 to 7. And then they have 40 tents or 4 party tents that are interconnected with curtains between them that they can open to create larger spaces. And then you can rent more than one of them out. And each tent is 10 by 20 and has 2 picnic tables. So approximately 8 people can fit there.
Also, I think we should just make, because we're actually not allowed to call our group, we're not allowed to name it at Real because they don't want it getting chopped up like EXP and becoming like a recruiting brokerage, like join with us and don't join with them. So we're gonna have to probably, like Brady has his fun new wave real estate group and we can still do that kind of stuff, but I think we should just call it Real. And I can order like tablecloths and stuff that say Real on them. And who knows, well, maybe we'll get some agents that stop by, they're interested too. But I think we should just call it Real.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I like it too.
Because people are gonna get confused, especially with like my team name, Utah's Finest, all of our own separate branding. Let's just call it Real and say, hey, like you can even say like, hey, I'm doing a fun client event for all my clients. Thank you so much for coming. And then if you just have your brokerage on there, then everybody can just market it as their own. I think that'll be better.
Yeah, no, I like that. And keep it clean and super easy. Maybe we do 2 tents then, just as a thought, just so that we're feel a little bit bigger, you know, as a presence. So maybe order 2 tablecloths.
Yeah, okay.
There's 2 in each one, so it'd be 4.
Well,
Okay.
but the first 2, maybe just like right when they show up, like the first 2, we can put those 2 together. And then the 2 back ones can just be like where people sit and like hang out or whatever. But like if the first 2, we have tablecloths on and it's like our branding and people are
You
hanging
also
out.
need one for the check-in table at the front, just so you know.
Or maybe it's just that one.
I
Okay.
thought they were checking in. Do we check in with our
Like
clients?
you have there's a check-in table at the front where they have to go grab the wristbands unless you get the wristbands beforehand. So it really just depends on what direction
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, check-in table's probably smart anyway for all the people who don't follow. They don't.
I'll have my branding girl create an invite today too, like an invitation we
perfect.
can send out to everybody. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
Excited.
That group is in our group me, so everybody go on and join it and we can stay up to date and finish planning this whole thing in there.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you
guys.
So excited. And for the last of you that are on here, our team with First Flip Challenge, we're actually going door knocking this Saturday. So we're going for specifically both, right? So I teach how to door knock for not just as an agent, but also as an investor. Because if they, just like they said, sometimes they go, oh shoot, well, I'm moving and this is why, and they're in a distressed situation or whatever. Like, I love to be able to solve all problems, right? So it's like, ooh, I could pick this up as an investment, or I can pick this up as a listing. Like, it's all worst case scenario. I make money, right? Like, I love it, all of the above. So we're going from like 2 o'clock to 5, 6 o'clock. And it's just going to be in the like Mill Creek, Sandy, somewhere in between there. I haven't figured out the exact date. So feel free to DM me if you're like even remotely curious. I'd love to add you. Obviously, a lot of you are already in our group, so you'll be there. But for all of you that's not in there and you want to come hang out, feel free to come and join us. We'd love to have more the merrier.
Hey, Paige and Maylee. Well, you guys, I just wanted to tell you I had a realtor that I met with yesterday. She's looking into joining Real, and I gave her the link for today. And she says, I listened to the call today and I am falling in love with Real. So thank you.
Oh, yay!
That's
God.
amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if our Christy girl got on page, but I think if she was on, she would have loved it. I didn't even look.
That's awesome. I think that now that we're kind of getting in our groove here and getting going, it'll be easier for people to add once they like totally finish their onboarding and they're in the app and like they just redid the app. It's even better now. I think it'll be easier and easier for other people to grow their network. And it is just such a great perk at Real. Like I said, I didn't know how it was going to go, but it's a great way to create passive income and it's a great brokerage and you don't need these other brands. So I'm super excited for everybody to build their own networks and start making passive income that way while also training on how to kill it as an agent and, make money how we already are. So excited for everybody.
Yay. Thank you, Paige. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.